everybody, welcome back to Yard Sale Squad. Today is the first of several videos that are really centered around enjoying the summer and living it to the fullest. So I think for a lot of us that really kind of centers around what's your money situation like? How big is your budget? And sometimes in the case of social media, in the world that we live in, it can feel like everybody's out doing fun things except for us. So in today's video, I am talking all about 11 things that you can do this summer absolutely for free. If this is your first time visiting my channel, hey, my name is Kelly. I call this channel Yard Sale Squad, and I love secondhand shopping. I love sharing about living intentionally with our family, and we renovated a single wide mobile home. So I have lots of fun content on my channel. I hope that you will stick around. I hope you'll subscribe and press that red thumbs up. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. All right, the first one is a cruise in. So I don't know about where you live, but in the area where I live in particular, I can think of 2 or 3 different towns that are local to me that do a cruise in. So if you don't know what this idea is, it's just the idea of people bringing their really old, really cool cars and just parking them along the street or in a park. And then you can go around, you can look at the different cars, you can ask people about them. Oftentimes there are vendors, and again, that's a spending option, but it is an option. The actual event of the cruise in is no cost to you. Usually they are set up on a format of once a month, and they are usually in the evening, not always, but a lot of times they're in the evening, so it winds up being a really good activity because it's not in the heat of the day. We really enjoy cruise-ins. I've always enjoyed them, but I just think it's so neat to see the variety of the cars. Usually people are pretty friendly and excited to tell you about their car, and especially to show them to the kids. Every now and then you'll find a grouch who's very protective of their cars, but most of the time people are really excited to show off their cars. Sometimes even let the kids sit in the cars. It's really a fun time. All right, number 2 is outdoor movie nights. So again, this is often a monthly or maybe a every other week kind of activity in the summer. I know a town local to us does this, and it's so adorable. So just to give you an example, they did Moana last month, and we went, and they had a team of hula dancers come and dance before the movie. And then of course, like I said, they had vendors, but you can also bring your own food, and of course bring your blankets and your chairs and everything. We brought pajamas for the kids because we knew it was going to be a late night. So we just changed them into their pajamas, and then when we got home, they just went straight to bed. It was so fun, and again, absolutely free. That's another one that again is in the evening because you have to kind of wait for the sun to go down to project the movie up on the giant screen. So it's also one of those that's a good activity to kind of beat the heat. Love outdoor movies. All right, number 3, kind of going along with that, is outdoor concert series. There are so many towns that will hire bands, and they will just offer free concerts to the public, and they will do maybe one a month or maybe one a week. Especially around special occasions, you might find concerts that are the week of 4th of July, or maybe they're having some other sort of special event. Oftentimes, if you will just go to your town's Facebook page or the Facebook pages of towns close to you, that's really how I find out about a lot of really cool things, is just by looking on Facebook and seeing what's available. The concerts can be really fun. A lot of times they are beach music, but it's really just kind of all over the place, and we love music anyway, so it's just always a fun time. And they're usually pretty casual. Because it is an outdoor concert, I think it's more of a kid-friendly atmosphere, and usually people are a little more understanding if you're not just sitting stoic watching the concert the whole time. You know, if you have your blanket or your chairs and your kids are lively or they're kind of doing something else on the blanket or whatever, people are usually a little more understanding about that. So outdoor concerts can be a really fun thing. All right, number 4, of course, is parks. So not just your local parks, but also kind of do a Google search. Actually, in my monthly reset video, I said that I had been listening to the Debt Free Mom podcast. Love it. I would still recommend it. And she had one where she was talking about eating on a budget, and she really mentioned travel, and she was talking about how their family does a lot of long road trips, and she said that she will actually research parks nearby, and she said she will look up the parks based on the amenities they have. You know, do they have a public bathroom? Do they have picnic tables? And then they will kind of program that into their route, and that's where they will kind of stop, let the kids stretch their legs, get some exercise out, and they will eat lunch. So that alone inspired me just to really explore our area and not just go to our favorite local parks, but also see if there are some other really cool ones in the area. And then you can also from there kind of decide, you know, I know just from thinking about our local parks, there's one that's really kind of tailored to nature learning. It has a really great pond and some great walking trails. There's one that has a super cool like sand kitchen, kind of like those mud kitchens, and it's a really great place where the kids can kind of just hang out for a while. There's also ones that have really stellar playgrounds, like state of the art, super high, super cool, lots of things to do. So don't just go to parks, but learn which parks are best for which type of activity and then kind of mix it up. All right, the next is library summer programs. So depending on where you live, your library may have just like a summer reading list, but they may also have weekly programs where they have people come in. They might have educational opportunities. Sometimes I've seen where they actually have like movie matinees. So definitely look into this. The library offers a lot of activities. A lot of times they are for free. And maybe if it's not your local library, maybe it's one that's not too far of a drive from you. All right, the next one, you know I'm gonna say it, is go to yard sales. So obviously this is sort of day specific. For my area, it's usually on Saturdays. I know other areas have them on Fridays or maybe even earlier in the week than that. But it can be a really fun way to just get out of the house, to find something to do. And it's not no spend unless you choose to not get anything. You can just choose to joyride, but it is very low spend. It is definitely a favorite activity of mine. And if you choose to do it earlier in the day, then you can sort of beat the heat and then come back home and take a nap. All right, the next one is Vacation Bible School. This is very much an old school thing, but lots of local churches do Vacation Bible School, and it's free, and it's just a fun way to have something for the kids to do and for them to get to learn and meet friends. So if you go to a church, maybe you have one, or maybe you have a friend that goes to one, but Vacation Bible School is always a fun summertime thing. All right, the next one is go for a morning walk or bike ride. So I mentioned in my last video, actually, I talked about how much I loved walking with the double stroller whenever my kids were little. Looking back, it was one of like the times of my life. It was just so sweet. I had them side by side and we would walk, and we would always do it in the early morning. And in the summer, if we didn't make it out by a certain time, then it was just so miserably hot. But if we got up first thing and I gave them each a Chewy bar or an applesauce pouch and we got on our walk early, it was so nice. It was a nice way to begin the day, and then we kind of again beat the heat. You sense a theme here. In the summer, either get out early or get out late. If you're in the middle of the day, you know, you got to be doing something water related or it's just too hot. But yes, going for an early morning walk or an early morning bike ride, if you have a good area to do that, those are easy things, those are free things, and depending on the age of your kids, they can participate in different ways. All right, the next one is have a picnic. So this can be very basic and it can just be a picnic, or this can be, of course, in conjunction with something else. You can take a blanket, you can find a picnic table, maybe you can go to a local lake or a local mountain, find somewhere to sit in the shade. So you can really kind of take this one and run with it, and also in that, make the foods that you pack actually be something really fun, something themed or something that you took a little extra care with. That can be a really fun thing to do in the summer. All right, two more here. This next one is one that I'm really learning to do more and more, and kind of just as I've been a parent, I've just learned this more and more. Pay attention to your local happenings and your surroundings. So for example, maybe there is some construction work happening next door. Maybe there is a house being built across the street. Maybe you have a neighbor that has beehives, or maybe you can go learn in grandma's garden. There are so many really great opportunities that are entertaining, and they're educational, and they are free. And a lot of times, depending on the situation, people are happy to have you ask questions. People are happy to have you over. Just last week, we went to a friend's house who has a farm, and we got to see their animals. We got to feed the animals. We got to collect eggs. The kids got to do all of this, and it was hands-on, and it was absolutely free. So it felt really fun. It felt really special. And I want to pay attention to opportunities like that more. I want to ask friends that have the cool happenings going on, hey, can we come over? Or do you want to come over to our house and we can learn about this together? And a lot of times people are willing to say yes, because it's just sharing life. It's just doing fun things together, the things that are already happening anyway. All right, and the last one is go to a friend's pool. So of course there are community pools. Maybe you live in a neighborhood or a development and maybe you have a pool in your neighborhood. But growing up, what my mom used to say was, we have something that is better than having a pool. We have a friend who has a pool. So we have access to it. We can go over anytime we want to. You know, we're very close with them, but we don't have the upkeep. We don't have the maintenance. So all that being said, if you have a friend who has a pool, you know, maybe see if you can establish, you know, coming over once a week or twice a week and really enjoying that pool. It really is an asset to have a friend who has a pool. All right, you guys, so those are my 11 things to do this summer for free. Of course, there are many more than this. And so what I'm going to do here at the end is I'm just going to include some screen grabs of a couple of Pinterest lists. You know, there are these kinds of lists all over the internet of fun things that you can do for free. Some of these are outside of the house. Some of these are fun things to do in the house to kind of take up some of that time when your kids maybe would normally be in school or learning in some other way. There are really endless possibilities, and so many of them are low cost or free. So as I said, this is the first of many summer themed videos, so you'll have to make sure to come back. I have many things coming. We're going to be talking about snacks. We're going to be talking about some crock pot meals that we can just set and forget so we don't have to be in the kitchen on these hot days. We're going to talk about some ways to lower your spending. So we've talked about some free things, and then later on we're going to talk about some ways to save a little bit of money. Just lots of fun things coming. So as always, thank you guys so much for stopping by Yard Sale Squad. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.